Yeah, so thank you everyone again. So I'm Nishant Tiwari, Product Line Manager in Fujitsu. And thank you also, sir, for giving me the opportunity to present for both the session. One is the DApp and second 6G Open RAN security. So as a Fujitsu, we are building a new possibility by connecting people and technology and idea. And we are working in a key technologies like in a computing, network, AI, data and security, converging technologies. So here agenda is question asked that need to be addressed related to the security. There are several key security challenges in new telecom product. NIST 7 tenets of zero trust and ORAN security. And here we have the scope of standardization in ORAN security as well as in AIML. Question asked that need to be addressed. So what are the potential security risks and then threat associated with the new product? How can we ensure that customer data and privacy are adequately protected? Are compliance requirement or industry standard that need to be met? So again, in security, we have a multiple security standard, and then we have to meet different security standard. That is again a complexity of security part. What measures can be taken to prevent unauthorized access or data breaches? How can we implement secure authentication and authorization mechanism? So presently we are doing a auth2 authorization mechanism. What step can be taken to detect and respond to a security incident promptly? So that is again multiple like DDoS attack, and yeah, multiple type attack is happening right now in globally, and major impact is also from the operator side. Are there secure coding practices that should be followed during the development process? So let's strategy that's again it's just in a cloud or in DevOps environment. It's not yet adopted in a telecom environment. How can we perform regular security assessment and audit to identify vulnerability? Are there any secure communication protocols that need to be implemented? Yes. So these are the key security challenges in new telecom product. So insecure software development can be a big threat to the organization. That is one major challenge. How we can make a standard secure development process within the organization. Insecure interfaces and APIs. So one other things happened. Before means up to the 4G. After the 5G, we have connected our management plane with the cloud environment. Code is also in the cloud environment, and then because if things will go to the cloud environment, then security vulnerability start happening. That is one other things how we have to control, and then how we have to make the standard so that before uh, 5G telecom network is seems like a secure, but after because we have the SNMT protocols is 7 signal that is not exposed by with a software engineer, but after the cloud API integration, everything is becoming insecure. So again, multi-factor authentication fatigue is hacker new favorite tactics in high-profile breaches, complex ecosystem. So right now whole telecom system is become a complex. We have a 4G, 5G, SA, NSA, even 2G still we are supporting, then cloud infrastructure, AIML, and then IoT devices, connected car, right? So whole infrastructure is just not a B2C, it's the B2B, and yeah, it's multiple vertical use cases. So whole system become very complex right now. Evolving red landscape, regulatory compliance. So again, if you are going to follow the regulatory of one country, it may change to other country. And then as a if we are developing the product, then again we have to follow the security standard or compliance of a different country. And for the product, you have to follow the security standard of 3GPP, ETSC, and then ORAN Alliance, even IEEE. So interoperability challenges. So interoperability is one other challenge, the legacy system and upgrade. So if we have developed our product based on the TLS 1.2 or 1.3, then we have to also support TLS 1.0 or 1.1. Scalability and performance, supply chain risk. So here I have captured next seven tenets of zero trust in 4 points. First is a network function and architecture elements are a resource secured as a micro parameters. Trust is not assumed by any subject, whether human user or network asset attempting to access a resource. Authentication and authorization are enforced on a per session basis for internal and external subjects. Confidentiality integrity protection is provided for a data in transit, at rest, and in use. So that is other thing, confidentiality, integrity. So which type of algorithm we are going to use? If it's non-real-time replication, then because again, if we are going to increase the bit size of the algorithm, then latency is also going to be a compromise. So how we are going to balance between data security and then performance and then latency? So those things, other things we have to standardize as which ranges, which particular protocol can be used. Continuous monitoring, logging, altering is implemented to detect security events and enforce dynamic security policies. So as a Fujitsu, we have a use of defense in-depth security strategy. So we have a, when we are developing the product or when we are framing any new product. So based on the security threat, we have a few model. So first is security built into a design. So we have left shift strategy. Based on that, we are developing our product. Then virus scanner, patch management, rule-based access. So it's not everyone can access the product. So if someone only related to the database, then only he need to access the database. If someone is the developer, he need to developer. So yeah, so based on the access, we are giving the overall access, segmentation, and then firewall security. That is again DDoS attack. For all those things, we have a secure firewalls and security monitoring, virtual private network policies and procedures, and continuous improvement and security control. So here we have the holistic approach to a security. So security built into a design. So I have already discussed. So it's not one standard. We have to follow with the multiple standard, ORAN Alliance, Working Group 11, 3GPP, NIST. If you're in US, then you have to follow the NIST. If you're in Europe, you have to follow different, right? So based on the country, you have to comply with the country's security compliance requirement and ISO globally. So in secure testing, verified SBOM, secure packaging. Yeah. So this is the different strategy, how we are developing the product and securely delivering the product at a customer location. After that, how at a customer location, how we are securing the product from the security point of view. So there is initially two things what I want to discuss. One, yeah, so this is a whole framework, access control and encryptions, authentication, secure management, instruction detection and prevention, compliance and auditing, resilience and redundancy, secure boot process, integrity, protection. So I'm not going to explain all those things. Few things I want to discuss here. So this is the ORAN security, which is defined, and mainly I'm going to discuss about the SMO security. So we have a O1 interface, and in O1 interface for authenticity, confidentiality, integrity, and data origination and replay protection, we are using a TLS. So again, we are using a TLS 1.2 we are using. But again, how it become the compatible for the TLS 1.0 or TLS 1.1, that again we need to look it. And authorization we are doing with the auth. It's already defined uh, protocols for a O1 interface. Similarly, for a A1 interface, and for a E2 interface, we have IPsec security. So that is again, and then because of the latency, E2 we don't have the authorization. So if we will talk about E1, O1, O2, and even Y1 interface. Here we have not seen the Y1 interface, but Y1 also we are doing the same TLS security for authenticity, confidentiality, integrity, data origin, and replay prevention. So initially, for any product, these two things, one is the authentication and access management. It's very important, and we have to make very secure authentication and access management. So here only, mainly we are looking at RAN element. We are not looking how we are going to make much secure authentication and access management for the cloud environment. So access control and identity verification. So we are doing with the digital certificate based authentication, RBAC support, integrate an existing authentication system. So legacy system, how we're going, that is again, it's not standardized. So we have to go right based on the customer environment. We have to support LDAP or AD based on the customer environment. We have to make the changes, and we need to support the authentication and access management based on the customer or end user requirement. So integration into the SSO platform, that is again the area we have to look, right? How we have to integrate with others SSO platform. That is again the area where we can think of the standardization, so that globally only play and plug we require, and it's secure uh, from the security point of view. So security and login. So here I'm going to talk about AI application to telecommunication. So there is a three area of AI application in a telecom industry. One is the network and infrastructure domain. So in network and infrastructure domain, we have a data center, ORAN, IP address, optical core,
Nishant,
fixed, wireless.
you have about 5 minutes to finish your presentation. Then we'll have a short discussion and we'll move to the next. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So uh,
Thanks.
okay, so let me finish it right as soon as possible. So, and then second, we have the customer service and application domain, customer experience focus. So, retail, broadband, industrial, industry vertical, and IoT, mobile, mm, yeah, B2B, and then mobile to C services, enterprise campus services, private cloud. And then we have a third service and a network operation domain. So here we have a strategy, planning, network changes, deployment, configuration part or operation part, and then test, evaluate, verify, validate, accounting, performance, security, privacy, optimization. So this is different domain where we can implement the AI application. But challenges with the AI application, if we will implement it and if it's not secure, then it can create a major problem, right? In a businesses, in a network, or in a planning. So before sending any data, the data is secure enough to do the AI intelligence to make the recommendation. That is again the area where standardization is not done yet. So potential threat and then exploits common to ML in a ORAN system. So I'm not going to discuss. So this is the major potential threat and exploits common in ML in a ORAN overall system. So input manipulation attack, data poisoning attack, and then the model stealing. So yeah, if model stealing is going to happen, then it is again going to create a problem, right? In whole network or in whole system. Output integrity attack, yeah, that is again challenges. So let me talk about this data security. So again, what I have discussed. So how we have a one common standard, right? Because again, we have to go with the recommendation. Means if application is not a time sensitive, then we have to go with this algorithm. If application is a time sensitive, then we have to go with that particular algorithm. So how we have to make the standard, right, based on the latency. If this latency is required, let's go with this algorithm related to integrity and then confidentiality, authenticity. So that is again, we need to look the standardization, so that exactly we know, okay, this is the latency required for this particular application, and use this data security model, means data on run or data on stay, right? And so we have to look, because again, this is the strategically decision we need to take for different type of application, which is means application should secure also, and scalable also, and means it's also run fast, right? Means it's so not if we are going to make the algorithm of suppose AS256 for near real-time application, all the application which require latency sensitive application, then to process that algorithm is take 5 6 seconds, and then it is going to create a problem in whole value of the application. So all those things again we need to see, and we also need to think how we can develop a standard security algorithm model for particular application, latency sensitive application, all the application which is not a latency sensitive application. So here I'm going to talk about AIML general procedure in ORAN. So ORAN is going to means for mainly for the SMO part. So we are going to get the data from the four sources. One source is OCU ODU, that is one source, and then near real time rig, non real time rig data collector. So and then main sources is the interface O1 interface, A1 interface, and then E2 interface. So this is the initial data which application can get, like, or it may XApp application or RApp application, and DApp application will be the directly with the OCU and ODU. But again, if DApp application, which is also the part of the vertical use cases, then again we need to see how we have to mix secure. If any AIML capability we are going to build up in a D app or a micro app, how secure data we are sending towards the AIML, towards the D app or X app. So here three different deployment scenario. One is the data will be go through the O1 interface, and it is going to configure the DU and CU. So again, if through the O1, if someone uh, uh, make the data vulnerable, right, for the O1 interface, then again that is going to do a major problem in the whole network. It is going to change the configuration management of the DU and CU, and what we are expecting from the application, it is not going to happen, because input data itself is wrong, right? Then data preparation and AIML training, everything is means we don't know what is going to happen in the network if that type of attack is going to happen. And the same recommendation will also go to the near real-time rig. So again, if XApp is running and XApp is going to use the A1 related input data, and it is going to make the decision based on the A1, and A1 data is or itself is a corrupted data, right? Means it's someone attacked that data and changed the basic framework of the data. Then again, we have to make the framework so that when data is collected, it should secure safe data. Second scenario is for O1, and then implementation is going to happen. Yeah, data is going to get it from the E2 interface, and then again, if from the DU or CU level, because E2 related data will come only from the CU and DU E2 nodes. So again, at the initial stage of the data, if E2 is again be intercepted by someone and given a wrong feedback to the E2 interface data, then again that is going to create a problem in whole system or in network, even in applications. Third deployment scenario is a even policy. So data is coming from O1 interface and it is going to create a problem through the A1 interface. So safeguarding your data-driven AI network. So I'm not going to talk about much about all those things. The importance of a clean and secure data integrity for optimal AI performance, protecting data integrity throughout the life cycle, and cascading effect of a compromised data. So you just see network vulnerability, service disruption, misconfiguration, unauthorized access. That can happen anything, right? It may be whole nationwide outage because of this vulnerability. If data is compromised and if application is running, data is compromised, then it is a major outage in whole nations. So addressing vulnerability and adversity attack, we understand data management and vulnerability, data manipulation. Yeah. So this is the different safeguarding mechanism. Let me go to MNO's challenges and standardization. So presently, MNO's
Kindly finish the next 2-3 minutes. We just have to move on.
yes, yes, yes. So presently, if you don't have a much what I can say, a stable product. But if it's not a secure product, then no one is going to buy your product or attract the product. So first condition presently, product is secure. Yeah, it may be less stable or it may be less scalable. That is okay. But product should be a secure product. That is a first thing from a global MNO's point of view, and how we are going to make a balance between security, scalability, stability, and also simplicity. So the problem with the means 5G network, or yeah, we have SA and SA and supporting 4G, and then in core also we have a multiple model. So one other thing, although all the standards should be a simple, it should be means related to the security. So security standards should be a simpler. It should secure, and it should also make the things workable. It should not, we can put the security and high bit algorithm and we are not getting a proper latency what is expected from that application. So that is overall expectation from MNOs, and also we are expecting from the research and then from the standardization point of view. So conclusion, so again the similar what I have discussed in last talk. So app, AIML and security, this is the combination where we need to work on it, and then anything which is going to benefit to the customer, generate a new business model or revenue model and secure model. So that is what's MNO's expectation from standardization and then from the vendors like us. So here I have already discussed what's expectation from the standardization and then research. Thank you everyone for listening me. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Nishant. So we'll just maybe spend a few minutes. I'm preparing a set of slides, so I'll go at the end. But looking at what you covered in the first one, and I was thinking, I mean, in the first presentation, you talked about advancing RAN with DApps and real-time RIC. And so you mostly focus the complexity of operation management with DApps, maintenance aspects. So if I try to club them together, is something like a task force on RAN management issues, right? I don't know if you agree with me on that. I know that is an important issue. My recommendation would be let's create a task force and come up with the issues that you pointed out and potential solutions, and maybe write 2 to 3 page document based on the slide, just like Dilip did for heterogeneous rig. And then we can discuss that in our next monthly meeting, next one or the following one. You can present that document. That will solve two purposes. One is having some kind of a white paper that you can potentially publish in IEEE Future Network Tech Focus work in progress. Plus, that will help you to crystallize your idea to come up with a PAR and define the scope, as Alex was suggesting for some other presentation. Do you agree with that approach?
Yeah. So because few area where ORAN is also working on it, so it may be overlapped area, but again, that standardization not happened yet. Like the interface between a non-real-time rig platform to the cloud infrastructure. So again, when we are developing the
Sure.
product.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Even if they've done it, just put it there. Who has done it, right? That itself is a contribution.
Okay.
You can do a gap analysis during your, yes, Mehmet?
Yeah, I have a quick question for him. I think the first presentation seems to have a more defined, concrete, some kind of solution to a problem. So it looks like it may be a good base for a standards. But the question I have here, you have in I guess Fujitsu, right? You are from Fujitsu, I believe.
Yeah, I'm from the Fujitsu.
You have this product already, or and
Yeah,
the
so
following question is, if you do, does Fujitsu is ready to turn that one into standards?
yeah, so we have the product like Canary application product, and if yeah, I will discuss and then I will put it in a standard, right? Because few proprietary interfaces we have that we are communicating with cloud infrastructure. So if we want to put that particular interface as a standard, right? So yeah, internally I will discuss with
Yeah,
my team and then I will put as a standard.
right. Do you also have a patent on that one?
No, so it's not a patent yet. So
I mean, it's
yeah,
okay to
so
have a patent. Just make sure that if you do have a patent, we have to announce that you have a patent before we go to standardization project. That's all.
okay.
Mehmet,
Yes, sir.
let me correct it. Before you go, you don't announce because you don't know whether patent is applicable. You have to issue a letter of assurance
Right,
when you start,
right.
but not before PAR is submitted and working group starts working.
Yeah, I know. That's the
Yeah.
detail. I didn't want to get them confused with all kind of acronyms that we use. But yeah, I agree. Yeah,
As long as he doesn't start doing it before we have PAR accepted. So.
right.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mehmet. So I think action item I'm taking here, next steps, create a task force on RAN management, extended white paper. This is a potential area we can have some standardization, right? That's kind of a consensus we are getting. And in the meantime, Nishant, you're going to check which these are two independent. There is no dependency there that can go in parallel, but let's do that, right? I just took some notes. And when I have comments on the second one. So second one, my recommendation would be, it is more like a security taxonomy framework, some of the things you're doing. So there is, again, the morning presentation, we're trying to create a task force with the security working group in future network technical community. So I will invite you to join that task force. And then we'll look at the overall items, right? Whether it's a focus to Open RAN or maybe it's part of the big framework. Now, to me, it looked like your presentation is part of a big security framework that touched upon many
Yeah,
things.
Yeah, it's overall framework because security is not only limited to RAN because RAN is going to interact with the multiple dimensions. So
Okay, I
yeah,
think
it's overall securing the product. So that is my main motto of
right, right.
this.
So that's why it was a
Framework.
little bit broad. So we can still discuss that. So between the two presentation, your first presentation is little focused on the management aspect, which is a unique one. And second one, we can work together on the security task force, right?